Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. What does it mean when someone doesn't call you, doesn't text you, doesn't show up for you? Now, I want you to feel this in your soul, because it's not just about the words, it's about the truth behind the silence. Believe it or not, when he doesn't call or message you for a long time, it means something loud and clear. It means his priorities are elsewhere. And you, my friend, are not a priority in his life. And here's the thing, that silence is its own form of communication. Actions or the lack of them are louder than anything he could ever say. Busy? No, we make time for what matters. A man or anyone, for that matter, who truly values you will move mountains to let you know. But let's pause for a moment, because this isn't about him. This is about you. This is about your worth, your value, your time. You deserve better than breadcrumbs of attention. You deserve someone who sees you and shows you that they see you every single day, not just when it's convenient. You see, chasing someone who leaves you in silence is like running after the wind. It drains you, it frustrates you, it ultimately gets you nowhere. That energy, it's better spent on yourself, on your growth, on your dreams, on someone who reciprocates the love and respect you give so freely. So let go of desperation and hold tight to your standards. Understand this, their silence isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's life telling you that there's more, there's better, there's greater waiting for you. Take that silence and turn it into power. Reflect, refocus, and rise. Because when you know your worth, you won't need to hear from them. You'll be too busy building the life you deserve. And when the right one comes along, they won't leave you wondering. They'll show you every day that you are the priority. And that, my friends, is the love worth waiting for. Think about this. How many times have you heard someone promise the world only to deliver excuses? How often do people say they care, yet their actions paint a completely different picture? Words are easy. They roll off the tongue with little effort, but actions require commitment, intention, and follow through. They reveal the truth in a way words never can. When someone cares about you, they don't just say it, they show it. They make the effort to reach out, to check in, to be present. They honor their promises no matter how small, because they know that consistency builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. When their actions align with their words, you don't have to second guess their intentions or wonder where you stand. But here's the reality: when someone's actions don't match their words, it's not confusion, it's clarity. Silence is a loud message. The missed calls, the forgotten plans, the lack of effort, all of it is telling you something. It's not about how many "I miss yous" they can say in a moment of guilt. It's about how many times they've actually shown up when it mattered most. In life, you must pay attention to what people do, not just what they say. People can promise forever, but actions will show you whether they even mean today. Someone who values you won't make you question their care. They'll show it through the consistency of their presence, the sincerity of their efforts, and the respect they give to your time and energy. It's not about being harsh or unforgiving, it's about being honest with yourself. If someone's actions repeatedly fall short, you have to ask yourself why you're settling for less than you deserve. And more importantly, why are you accepting a narrative that doesn't match reality? Your worth isn't determined by someone's ability to spin pretty words. It's reflected in the effort they put into keeping you in their life. So the next time someone tells you they care, look beyond the words. Ask yourself, do their actions back it up? Do they make time for you? Do they follow through on their promises? Because at the end of the day, love, care, and respect aren't just spoken, they're demonstrated. And when you start focusing on actions over words, you'll find the clarity and peace you need to build the relationships you truly deserve. Silence is not empty, it is full of meaning. When someone doesn't call, doesn't message, doesn't reach out, it is more than the absence of communication, it is a statement in itself. Every moment of silence carries weight, and it speaks volumes about priorities, intentions, and emotions. You see, silence is often mistaken for ambiguity, but in reality, it is one of the clearest messages you'll ever receive. When someone chooses not to communicate, that choice is deliberate, whether conscious or unconscious. It reveals where you stand in their life and what they are willing or unwilling to invest in the connection. When someone values you, silence doesn't linger. They won't leave you wondering, doubting, or overthinking, because they'll be intentional about showing up for you. But when the silence stretches on, it's a signal. It's telling you, this is how much I'm willing to give. Now, don't confuse silence with busyness. Yes, life gets hectic. We all have responsibilities, challenges, and moments when we need to focus on ourselves. But even in the busiest of times, a quick message, a brief call, or even a simple acknowledgement is enough to show someone they matter. Silence, however, is different. Silence says, I'm not prioritizing you right now, and as hard as that truth might feel, it's better to hear it in the stillness than to cling to false hope. It's also important to understand that silence can be a form of protection, not for you, but for them. Sometimes people pull away because they don't know how to articulate their feelings or because they lack the courage to be honest. Instead of addressing the situation directly, they let the silence speak for them. While it's not fair, it is revealing. It shows their inability to handle the depth of the connection or the responsibility that comes with it. But here's the beauty in recognizing silence for what it is. It gives you the power to make a choice. You can decide not to fill the void with excuses, not to chase answers that the silence has already provided. You can decide to respect yourself enough to let go of someone who doesn't reciprocate your energy. Silence doesn't need interpretation when you learn to trust it. It is clarity wrapped in stillness. And when you embrace its message, it frees you to focus on relationships that are built on mutual effort, respect, and care. Silence is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It pushes you to listen, to reflect, and to recognize what you truly deserve. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have. It is finite, precious, and irreplaceable. How we choose to spend it reveals what we truly value far more than words or intentions ever could. When someone prioritizes you, it's unmistakable because they deliberately carve out time to show it. On the flip side, when someone doesn't make time for you, they're silently communicating something equally clear: you are not their priority. Think about it. In a world filled with endless demands, responsibilities, and distractions, we all find ways to dedicate time to the things and people that matter most to us. Whether it's a busy parent finding moments to connect with their child, a professional taking a break to call a loved one, or a friend showing up even when their schedule is packed, these actions are deliberate. They reflect care, intention, and commitment. But when someone tells you they're too busy or doesn't make an effort to reach out, consider what that truly means. Life is busy for everyone, but priorities cut through the noise. A quick message, a phone call, even a fleeting moment to check in, these are not monumental efforts, they are reflections of where your relationship stands in their life. If someone consistently leaves you waiting, wondering, or feeling like an afterthought, the truth is clear: you are not a focus for them. This doesn't mean they're a bad person or that they don't care at all. It simply means their energy is directed elsewhere, and that's okay, it's their choice. But you must honor yourself enough to recognize that their choice shouldn't diminish your worth. Because here's the thing, when someone truly values you, they don't just make time, they prioritize it. They rearrange their schedule if needed, they stay up a little later, or they pause in the middle of a hectic day to show you that you matter. Effort like this isn't forced or burdensome, it comes naturally because you are significant to them. At the same time, it's important to hold yourself to the same standard. Are you giving your time to the right people? Are you investing your energy in those who reciprocate? Time is precious, and how you allow others to spend it with you is a reflection of how you value yourself. When someone doesn't make time for you, don't chase them. Instead, redirect your focus to those who do. Value relationships where the effort is mutual, where your presence is cherished, and where the connection is nurtured. We all make time for what truly matters. It's not about convenience, it's about intention. And when someone shows you where you stand, believe them. Use that knowledge to protect your heart, preserve your time, and pour your energy into people and pursuits that align with your worth. Your time is one of the most valuable gifts you have to offer. It is not something you can reclaim or replenish. Once given, it is gone forever, which is why how someone treats your time is a direct reflection of how they value you. Respect for your time goes beyond punctuality or politeness. It is about the deeper acknowledgement of your energy, presence, and worth. When someone respects your time, they understand that every moment you share with them is a choice you've made. They don't waste it. They don't make you wait endlessly for a response, leave you guessing about their intentions, or treat your presence as an afterthought. They are intentional with their communication and deliberate about their actions because they know that your time is precious and should never be taken for granted. On the other hand, when someone disregards your time, it's a signal. Whether it's through repeated cancellations, lack of follow-through, or inconsistent communication, they are showing you that your time, and by extension, your value, doesn't hold priority in their life. It's a tough truth to face, but it's better to see it clearly than to let someone misuse what you can never get back. Respecting your time also means being clear and honest. If someone cannot give you the attention or energy you deserve, a person with genuine respect will communicate that. They won't leave you in limbo, wondering if you should hold on or move forward. They'll honor your need for clarity because they understand the emotional toll of uncertainty. But here's the other side of the coin. Respect for your time starts with you. Do you set boundaries, or do you let others dictate how your time is spent? Do you say yes to people who consistently undervalue you, or do you protect your energy for those who truly matter? Respecting your time means recognizing that you are not obligated to wait, chase, or accommodate someone who doesn't reciprocate your efforts. When you respect your own time, you demand that others do the same. You no longer tolerate being kept in the shadows of maybe or someday. You value yourself enough to walk away from situations where your worth isn't honored. And this doesn't just apply to relationships, it applies to every aspect of life. Work, friendships, family, every interaction should reflect mutual respect for the time and effort invested. When you hold your time in high regard, it shifts the way you experience the world. You stop giving pieces of yourself to people who don't cherish them. You stop waiting for someone to see your worth and start investing in people and opportunities that match your energy. Respect for your time isn't about being demanding, it's about being discerning. It's about knowing your value, standing firm in your boundaries, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. And when you operate from that place of self-respect, the right people will see it, honor it, and match it. Your time is sacred. Protect it and give it only to those who earn it. Understanding self-worth is one of the most transformative journeys you can embark on. It's about recognizing that your value is inherent, not dependent on external validation, the opinions of others, or how someone chooses to treat you. Self-worth is the quiet, unshakable confidence that you are enough just as you are, and that you deserve love, respect, and care without having to prove your worthiness. When you truly understand your self-worth, it changes everything. You no longer settle for relationships or situations that leave you feeling small, unappreciated, or inadequate. You stop chasing people who give you only fragments of their attention or affection because you know that you deserve someone who sees your value clearly and shows it consistently. But self-worth isn't just about what you believe about yourself, it's about what you allow. Every time you tolerate being mistreated, overlooked, or undervalued, you send a message to yourself and others that your worth is negotiable. When you accept less than you deserve, you begin to internalize the idea that less is all you're worthy of. And that's where the cycle begins. Settling becomes the standard, and over time you forget what it feels like to be truly valued. Understanding self-worth requires a shift in perspective. It means letting go of the need for external approval. You don't need someone to text you back, call you, or show up to confirm that you matter. You matter because you exist. Your value is not tied to how others perceive you or how much attention they give you. It is rooted in your unique qualities, your dreams, your kindness, your strength, and everything that makes you who you are. It also means setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are safeguards to ensure that the love, time, and energy you give are reciprocated. When you understand your self-worth, you set clear limits on what you will and won't accept. You communicate those limits not out of anger or fear, but out of love for yourself. And you stand by them because you know that honoring yourself is more important than pleasing others. Self-worth also means embracing the idea that not everyone will see your value, and that's okay. Their inability to recognize your worth doesn't diminish it. You don't need everyone to choose you, you need to choose yourself. You need to trust that the right people will see you clearly and treat you accordingly without you having to convince them. This understanding doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, reflection, and sometimes heartbreak to realize that you deserve better. But once you do, it's like a light turns on. You start to see the patterns you've accepted and the energy you've wasted on people who didn't deserve it. And instead of feeling regret, you feel empowered because now you know better. When you understand your self-worth, you walk differently, you speak with more confidence, you radiate a quiet strength that says, I know who I am and I know what I bring to the table. And this energy attracts the right people and opportunities into your life while naturally filtering out those who don't align with your value. Understanding self-worth is not just a gift to yourself, it's a standard you set for everyone who enters your life. It's a declaration that you are worthy of love, respect, and effort, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. And once you truly believe that, nothing and no one can make you feel less than you deserve. There is a profound sense of peace that comes when you stop chasing what isn't meant for you. It's not always easy to accept, but the truth is simple. If something or someone is meant to be in your life, you won't have to exhaust yourself trying to force it. What is meant for you will come naturally, and what isn't will slip away no matter how tightly you try to hold on. Chasing something that's not meant for you is like running after a mirage. You might see glimpses of what you think you want, but the closer you get, the more it fades. You pour your energy, time, and emotions into the pursuit, only to be left drained, disheartened, and wondering why it never worked out. The answer is simple yet powerful. It wasn't meant to align with your path. When you chase something that resists you, whether it's a relationship, an opportunity, or a dream that no longer serves you, you're ignoring the flow of life. The universe, fate, or whatever you believe in has a way of redirecting you to what truly belongs to you. But if you're too focused on chasing what's running away, you'll miss the doors that are opening right in front of you. It's important to understand that chasing often comes from fear, fear of loss, fear of being alone, or fear of not finding something better. But holding on to what isn't meant for you doesn't fill the void, it only deepens it. Instead of trying to force what isn't working, trust that letting go creates space for what is truly meant to enter your life. Letting go is not the same as giving up. It's an act of courage. It's choosing to trust yourself in the process of life. It's believing that what's meant for you will never require you to beg, plead, or compromise your worth. When you stop chasing, you allow what's meant for you to find you, and that's where the magic happens. This doesn't mean there won't be effort involved. Relationships, careers, and dreams all require work. But there's a difference between effort and chasing. Effort is mutual, aligned, and rewarding. Chasing is one-sided, exhausting, and often unfulfilling. If you find yourself constantly fighting to hold on to something, it's worth asking, is it really worth the fight? Or are you holding on to the idea of what it could be? When you stop chasing, you reclaim your power. You shift from a mindset of scarcity, believing this is the only chance you'll get to one of abundance, trusting that what's meant for you will come when the time is right. You start to see that life isn't about clinging to what doesn't fit. It's about embracing what flows effortlessly into your life. It's okay to grieve what wasn't meant to be. It's okay to feel disappointed when something you wanted doesn't work out. But don't let that disappointment turn into desperation. Instead, let it be a lesson. Every no is a redirection to something better. Every closed door leads to an open one if you're willing to keep walking. When you release the need to chase, you step into alignment with yourself. You attract people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with your energy. You learn that love, success, and happiness don't have to be forced. They grow naturally when you focus on what's right for you. So stop chasing what isn't meant for you. Trust the process, honor your worth, and have faith that the right things will come when the time is right. What's meant for you will never require you to lose yourself in the pursuit. It will meet you exactly where you're meant to be. Choosing standards over desperation is one of the most empowering decisions you can make in life. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you refuse to settle for anything less than you deserve, even when fear, loneliness, or doubt try to convince you otherwise. It's about prioritizing your values, boundaries, and dignity over the fleeting comfort of settling for something or someone that doesn't align with your true self. Desperation comes from a place of lack. It whispers that you're running out of time, that you won't find better, or that you must hold on to what's in front of you, even if it doesn't feel right. Desperation clouds your judgment, making you believe that any relationship, opportunity, or situation is better than nothing. But here's the truth: desperation never leads to fulfillment. It leads to compromise of your standards, your happiness, and ultimately your self-respect. Standards, on the other hand, come from abundance. They are rooted in the belief that you are whole and complete as you are, and that the right people and opportunities will meet you at your level. Setting high standards doesn't mean being unreasonably demanding or inflexible. It means having a clear understanding of your non-negotiables, those essential values and qualities, the qualities that align with who you are and what you deserve. When you choose standards over desperation, you stop chasing validation from others. You no longer need someone else to define your worth because you've already defined it for yourself. You start to see that it's better to stand alone in your truth than to be surrounded by people who don't honor or respect you. You begin to understand that waiting for what aligns with your values isn't a loss, it's an investment in your long-term happiness. This mindset shift isn't always easy. It takes courage to walk away from something that doesn't meet your standards, especially when the alternative feels uncertain. But every time you say no to less, you make room for more. Every time you uphold your standards, you send a powerful message to yourself and to the world that you value yourself too much to accept mediocrity. Desperation often leads to clinging to relationships that drain you, jobs that don't fulfill you, or situations that undermine your potential. But standards require strength. They require you to let go of what isn't right, even when it's hard, and trust that something better is on the way. Standards require patience, self-discipline, and a deep belief in the abundance that life has to offer. When you choose standards, you attract people and opportunities that resonate with your energy. You build relationships based on mutual respect, love, and effort rather than fear, insecurity, or neediness. You find yourself in situations that elevate you, challenge you, and help you grow instead of those that leave you feeling stuck or depleted. Having standards doesn't mean you won't face rejection or disappointment. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt or longing. But it does mean you'll navigate those moments with grace and resilience, knowing that your worth is non-negotiable. You'll learn to see rejection not as a reflection of your value, but as a redirection towards something better. Choosing standards over desperation isn't about arrogance or perfectionism. It's about self-respect. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be treated with kindness, dignity, and love, not because of what you do or offer, but simply because of who you are. In a world that often encourages settling for good enough, be bold enough to demand better. Trust that the right opportunities, relationships, and experiences will come when you stand firm in your standards. And remember, desperation may feel urgent, but standards will always lead to the life you truly deserve. Growth in the waiting is one of life's most underrated but powerful transformations. Waiting is often seen as a passive state, a time of frustration and uncertainty where nothing seems to happen. But the truth is, the waiting season is where the real work occurs. It is where patience is cultivated, strength is built, and character is refined. Waiting is not a pause in your journey, it's an essential part of it. In the waiting, you are forced to confront yourself in ways that you wouldn't during seasons of ease. It strips away distractions and forces you to sit with your thoughts, your fears, and your desires. This is where self-awareness begins to deepen. You start to ask questions: who am I without the thing I'm waiting for? What do I truly want? Am I pursuing something out of alignment with my purpose? Waiting gives you the space to answer these questions honestly. But growth in the waiting is not automatic, it requires intentionality. It's easy to become impatient, bitter, or even stagnant while waiting for the job offer, the relationship to break through, or the dream to materialize. However, when you shift your perspective and embrace waiting as an active process, you begin to see it for what it truly is: preparation. Waiting prepares you for what's next. Sometimes you're not ready for the thing you're longing for. The time of waiting allows you to grow into the version of yourself that can handle it. Maybe the dream job requires a skill set you're still developing. Maybe the right relationship needs you to heal wounds or learn self-love first. The waiting isn't a punishment, it's a gift, a chance to align yourself with what you're destined for. In the waiting, you also learn resilience. Life doesn't always follow your timeline, and that's okay. Patience teaches you to trust the process, even when you can't see the finish line. It strengthens your ability to persevere, which are qualities you'll need when you finally step into what you've been waiting for. Growth doesn't come from getting what you want instantly, it comes from enduring the journey to get there. Another critical lesson in the waiting is learning to release control. Waiting teaches you that you can't force things to happen before their time. It humbles you and helps you surrender to the flow of life. This surrender isn't about giving up, it's about learning to trust that what is meant for you will come when it's ready, not when you demand it. In that trust, you find peace. While you wait, there's also an opportunity to build gratitude. The waiting season encourages you to appreciate what you have right now instead of focusing solely on what's missing. It shifts your mindset from lack to abundance. Gratitude has a way of grounding you and reminding you that even in the waiting, life is full of blessings worth cherishing. Growth in the waiting also transforms your perspective on timing. When you finally reach the other side of a waiting season, you'll realize that the delays weren't detours, they were perfectly timed pauses that prepared you for your next step. You'll see how the lessons you learned in the waiting were essential to your success, your happiness, or your ability to sustain what you were working toward. So if you find yourself in a season of waiting, don't waste it wishing it away. Use this time to reflect, grow, and prepare. Focus on what you can control: your mindset, your habits, your inner growth, and trust that the rest will fall into place. Waiting isn't empty, it's full of opportunities for transformation. Growth in the waiting is about becoming the person who is ready to receive what you've been waiting for. It's about building the patience, strength, and wisdom to not only step into your dreams, but to thrive in them. The waiting may feel long, but the growth it brings will last a lifetime. In life, we often find ourselves yearning for answers, chasing validation, or holding on to things that feel just out of reach. But true strength lies in stepping back, reassessing, and understanding that what is meant for you will never require you to compromise your worth, chase endlessly, or settle for less. Each moment of waiting, every boundary you set, and every time you choose standards over desperation, you are not losing, you are growing. You are becoming the version of yourself that is prepared to receive what is truly aligned with your purpose. The silence you encounter, the setbacks you face, and the waiting you endure are not empty. They are messages, lessons, and opportunities for growth. They teach you to value your time, respect yourself, and trust the process. And most importantly, they remind you of your inherent worth, a worth that is not tied to someone else's actions, opinions, or absence, but rooted deeply in who you are. So as you move forward, don't let impatience or fear dictate your decisions. Embrace the waiting, uphold your standards, and let go of what isn't meant for you. Trust that the right opportunities, relationships, and moments will find you not because you chased them, but because you were ready to receive them. You are worthy of love, respect, and effort, and when you honor yourself first, the world will follow. Growth isn't just in the destination, it's in the journey, the waiting, and the lessons along the way. Stay patient, stay strong, and trust that what is truly yours will come in its time.